Hey y'all. Hey. Hey everybody. How y'all doing? I always act a fool before people get in the chat. Hey Scandal Squad, y'all welcome. Come on in. Come into the chat. We got to catch up on some Diddy stuff today. Let's talk about Diddy. We're going to talk about Diddy. Let me get this thing. I can never get this thing to be the way I want it to be. But anyway. Let's talk about Diddy. Hey, you guys. Thank you for joining in the chat. Thank you. Let me see who's here. Y'all want to say hi to me? Hi. 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 Hi, Candy. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining. Girl, can you please hit them like buttons? Hit the like. We're going to say, oh, thank you. You did. I appreciate that. We are going to be talking about Diddy. And can you let me know if you can hear me? That's the other thing. Because sometimes you know how YouTube be. So we got to talk about all the Diddy updates. It's so much stuff going on with Diddy. The content creators are fighting. People are in disagreement as to what's really happening. I didn't even put it in the description. But Busby, listen, regardless as to whether Busby has new filings or... Hey, Michael, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining. Can you hit that like button for me, please? If you haven't already. Y'all, everybody's talking about Busby, and let me... y'all know I don't like being on camera, so I'll be having to get it just right. Everybody said, let me take my glasses off, too, so I can see into the camera. So you got... Ooh, and I can't even... Ooh, Lord, no, I don't want them off, because this... Oof. That's not a good look. But anyway, everybody's talking about Busby and the fact that whether he's disbarred and barred and all of that stuff. The bottom line is, and I defer to people that are practicing attorneys, even though I was litigation years ago, people who are currently practicing, people that are currently up on state laws, local laws, and stuff like that, because there are local laws too. I rely on them to give me the facts, right? And so one person that I watch is Girl Is That Legal. And the bottom line is that Busby is not disbarred. So if anybody is saying he's disbarred, that's not true. He's not disbarred in New York either. Basically, he cannot represent those cases, or the one that was dismissed, as well as some other ones he filed in that jurisdiction. I mean, I'm just summarizing it to make it simpler. So it's not necessarily a ding against his bar license or anything like that. It's just that he didn't file the correct paperwork for, I don't know if it was the federal, because it's federal court and the jurisdiction, but for that particular branch that he wanted to practice at, or, represent those cases, he cannot. And that's what that means. The bigger issue is the fact that if an attorney doesn't follow procedure for something that big, and something that you would generally do at the beginning of the case, it would make you concerned about him representing you. I heard he has a great reputation, so yeah, but so that's what that means. So the other thing we're going to be talking about is Diddy, y'all. Diddy is trying to get evidence suppressed, right? So basically what he was saying with that with the search, the tapes that they confiscated, he's saying that it was done illegally. He's trying to challenge it. And we do know that there are some procedural things that you can challenge, and it can have a huge impact on your case. So I did a video about it yesterday. So I'm going to play my video because it'll probably explain it better and more cleaner than you, because I use AI, you guys. When I do my research, I'll do my research and I'll put it in the AI tool and use my voice to create my AI video. So y'all please support my AI videos, because it's my work, but just with the AI voice. But I'm going to play this video so you can understand what we're talking about. And then I'm going to go to another person who does legal explanations. And he's going to talk about, because there are some legal analysts, unfortunately, you guys, there are legal analysts saying that Diddy he's on a good track when it comes to this new angle that he's taken. I mean, we know Rico quit because he was like, I ain't down for the shenanigans. And then we got some other stuff to talk about. So let me play this video. Let me get this video queued up, and then we're going to talk about, let's see. Lawyers file new documents in his federal case. We're getting a better glimpse into the fact that Diddy's legal team is scrambling. Diddy's legal team is attacking the search warrants federal agents obtained to raid his homes and examine his internet history, claiming feds made false statements in their applications for the warrants. The super producer's lawyers filed the document Sunday, asking a judge to suppress all of the evidence obtained in the searches because the government presented a grossly distorted picture of the facts when obtaining the warrants. Diddy's team says the feds had a variety of evidence that would prove at least one alleged victim willingly participated in the so-called freak-offs. In court documents, the feds define a freak-off as days-long activity between Diddy, a woman, and a male commercial sex workers, some of whom were transported over state lines. Diddy's side adds probable cause statements the federal government compiled were intentionally misleading, and ultimately their attempts worked, and they were able to secure warrants before leaking damaging information. The federal government hid the alleged victims' financial motivations for making their act. Hey, Ericy, welcome to the chat. Come on, Eric, now give me a like, please. Hit that like button for me. Thank you. Accusations. Diddy's team adds another misrepresentation they want addressed. As you know, Diddy's criminal case caught the public's attention last year when feds raided his homes in New York, Miami, and Los Angeles. Federal agents say they recovered numerous pieces of evidence in their raids, including hard drives and surveillance equipment. They also famously claimed to recover more than 1,000 bottles of baby. Okay, you guys, so that's the video idea. So basically what they're saying is all that, those tapes that they confiscated. Thank you, Eric. Love you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So basically what they're saying is that Diddy is trying to get that evidence suppressed. Come on now. That's the bulk of what they have against him. I mean, they're, I think they have about 4 witnesses at this point, but Diddy wants to get that evidence suppressed. He does not want it to be admissible. And so what the legal analysts are saying, I mean, people are debated back and forth as to whether or not he can be successful to get that evidence suppressed. But if he does, he has a motion as well. And I believe the response date. Hello, Turlin Ushry. Hello from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you for joining the chat. Please hit the like button for me, please. So what they're saying is that if he's successful in this motion, that's going to be very bad. So there's this one guy that I found, because I've been listening to different sides. There's the TMZ analysts and different analysts talking about what this means. I like to go to the experts. I'm not an expert, so I don't want to sit here argue with people. No, let's go hear the different sides. So some people are saying, when I first heard it, I said, there's no way they're going to suppress that evidence. I mean, that's the bulk of their case. They got the tapes and, and it shows, it can't prove whether or not a person was, whether they took the, pharmaceuticals, wink, wink, willingly, or whether they were drugged. But shit, they got the tapes. But now there are other analysts saying, this might work good for Diddy. So y'all, let's get into this video and listen to this.
Charge they were asking the judge to drop is the one they admitted that he's guilty of in the filing. So if you would have asked me yesterday if Diddy was going to spend the rest of his life in prison, I would have said 100%. Oh, I mean, whatever. I would have been like, it seems very likely that.
I'm going to start that over again for you guys.
Okay. So each predicate is a charge that the prosecution is trying to prove. If they can prove a certain number of them, then they're guilty of the Rico. Okay. And in this filing that their attorney filed, they admitted that he is guilty of one of the charges in the Rico. And just to add further insult to injury, the charge they were asking the judge to drop is the one they admitted that he's guilty of in the filing. So if you would have asked me yesterday if Diddy was going to spend the rest of his life in prison, I would have said 100%. Oh, I mean, whatever. I would have been like it.
And you guys, y'all know, please get the likes up. Yes, I agree too. I doubt if he gets to that. I don't think that he is. But I'm just trying to listen to all the things because y'all, I always thought that the Jay-Z case, I said that it would be tossed because I didn't think the evidence was strong enough, but I didn't think it was going to be tossed on a technicality. I mean, so technicalities are real. I mean, yeah.
It seems very likely that is the outcome of all of this, spectacle. Now, if you ask me today, after reading the motion that the defense just filed with the court and my own interpretation of the facts that they lay out, I would say my confidence of Diddy being found guilty and going to jail for a very long time has reduced immensely because
you guys, when I heard that, I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, what? I have not read the entire motion. I've just seen people skim through it. But I'm just shocked. I am shocked because I thought that they had an airtight. Hey, D-Dot, welcome to the chat. How you doing? Y'all know D-Dot is going to have some updates for us. D-Dot, I've been seeing this stuff with Art of Dialogue and Chopper been talking. Freddie P, they've been talking about Sarah, so I've been seeing it. Hey, Lulu, welcome to the chat. You guys, my co-host Lulu's World is in the building. You guys, please show Lulu some love and please go follow her on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You guys, and everybody saying hello. So when I heard this man say this, I was shocked. The fact that he could even use something like the evidence to suppress the evidence, like I was saying no way, but we never know. Okay, let's listen.
This filing goes right at the heart of the prosecution's case, not at the case exactly, but in the manner with which evidence was collected. Imagine that like evidence that you're collecting is like a tree. And the more that you get, it's like different branches here, different branches here, different branches here. And eventually, like in the Diddy case, it looks like you just have this gigantic, beautiful tree of all of the evidence against this guy, of all the crimes he committed, okay? So if you think about it legally, the way that you would want to address all of those things, because you can't address each one of them one by one, is you want to chop the tree down, right? You want to just chop down the whole tree. So how did this tree get started, you know? And if you find a way to demonstrate that all of...
You guys, let me just stop this for a second. Do y'all think that there's any way Diddy is going to be able to get this evidence suppressed? I mean, how? Like, I'm just like, please, Lord, you know, do y'all think he's going to get the evidence suppressed? Because they're saying there's a possibility he can. And I saw another video on TMZ where one of the attorneys was saying that it has been successful in other cases. And that's exactly how OJ, not that he got evidence suppressed, but OJ, they attacked the prosecutor's strategy, and that's how he was able to win. You guys, I'm just like, oh shit. Do y'all think he's gonna get off?
Of the evidence that the prosecution has was the result of ill-gotten gains and misleading statements by the law enforcement agencies that were going after Diddy, then that's exactly what you'd be able to do. You're not allowed to use that piece of evidence. You're not allowed to use that piece of evidence. You're not allowed to use that piece of evidence. And in this case, one thing that you have is this unbelievable...
Michael Miller said he's going to get a lot of cases suppressed, but we should not forget that he has a Rico. Yeah, you guys, and they're trying to get the one video that they're definitely trying to get thrown out, y'all, which we know they got to see. Everybody's seen that video anyway, but the one with Cassie, that's the one that they said without that Cassie video that he has a fighting chance. I don't think so. But they want that. They do not want anybody to see that video. They are fighting day and night to get that video thrown out.
Central point whereby, as far as we know, all of this digital and evidence was collected, which was under the the search warrant, where they went into his homes and they got all of the hard drives. They got access to all of his communications. They got access to all of the videos that he kept, and we know he kept a lot of things he shouldn't.
I know, Eric, that's the thing with the feds. I think they have a 98% conviction rate. So, but the only thing about it, the people who have beat the feds generally have been people with money. So, I mean, is he thinking that this is going to get him off because he has the money? Diddy's legal fees are about $108,000 or $180,000 a week. That's how much money he's pouring into this. At least $100,000 a week. That's how much we make a year, y'all. I mean, I don't know. That is a whole effing salary. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I think a plea deal. I'll take a plea deal. Because I personally, y'all will have to go back and see. You know, everybody makes their predictions. I predicted Jay-Z. I predicted that was going to go away. Not on the technicality. But I predict it's going to be a plea deal. Y'all please get the likes up.
Given that he had the copy of the video of him dragging Cassie down the hallway from the hotel that he bought from the hotel. Why would you keep that? what kind of lunatic would keep that video? You know, he kept it. That's where they.
But you know, they're saying that Cassie had that video as well. So who do we believe? And if they did confiscate that video from Diddy, now y'all think about this. Jump in the comments and let me know what you think. Hey Eva, I was just talking about you to my daughter earlier today, and she was telling me to make sure I show you love and thank you for being with me. My this is one of my y'all, I can't say it right. Day ones. Y'all know. Anyway, Eva, yes. She's been here since the very beginning. So sending you love. Thank you. My daughter was like, Mom, do you know how special that is? Even if it's just one person. I'm like, okay. But y'all, I was gonna make a point. The Diddy tape.
All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna let him go.
Because of that, if the defense can prove that the way that they were able to get those search warrants was through.
Oh yeah, that's my point. If Diddy can prove that they released that video of Cassie, okay, if they got that tape when they did the raid, and he can prove that that's where that tape came from, and that Cassie didn't release it or somebody else, they have a problem. That's one of the issues. They're going to have a problem, because that would mean that the feds did leak confidential evidence, and that's a huge no-no. So, I mean, there are some things. His team is really fighting hard.
Misleading statements that they didn't actually tell the truth to the court that was going to issue the search warrants, then that would be a catastrophic moment for the prosecution. And the filing that they gave and the reasoning that they gave, I'm going to read it to you shortly, and you're going to go, man, that is... So if this case all hinges on this one thing, that does not look like a very sturdy position to be in if you're the prosecution and you're like, you know what I mean? So we'll go through exactly what that means, because honestly, this could blow up the case completely. We're going to talk about that. Also, you know how the attorney quit the case? Anthony Rico, his attorney quit the case.
You guys remember Anthony Rico quit the case like last week? The black guy just quit last week.
And there's not been any firm evidence of exactly why he quit the case. He put he had to make a like a formal request to the court that he's leaving the case, and he writes out why. And the wording that he used in his documentation was kind of the part that really piqued everyone's interest, because he says, I can no longer under any circumstances provide adequate defense that would be up to, whatever it is, the bar standards.
So that's the part where I personally felt like, of course we don't know. This is all speculation. But I felt like it had something to do. I felt like he knows that they're going to lose, and that he was probably saying, let's take a plea deal. Now, what we're learning since he not substituted out, but withdrew from the case, is the fact that he's saying that he can't even talk to Diddy. There have been reports that they won't even let him give Diddy legal strategies or talk to him. So I feel like he wants Diddy to plea out because he knows that they're not going to win. That's what I think.
And the way that comes off when a guy's quitting a case when their client has 120 civil lawsuits of people accusing him of egregious predatory criminal behavior is, of course, I mean, how do you think, how is everybody going to interpret that? You know what I mean? They're going to interpret that as, this guy, he suddenly grew a conscience. A defense attorney, grew a conscience. He just couldn't handle the 120th person who said that Diddy did this.
Now, some people are saying, that there's such something so egregious about this case that he can't. Hey, Ty, welcome to the chat. Welcome. Or he's afraid they are coming after them as lawyers, like with Trump. You know what? I think Anthony Rico, I don't see him quitting. Somebody said earlier that they think that he may have quit because, he thinks that they're unethical and all this. Listen, Anthony Rico defended Osama bin Laden. Anthony Rico defends people who have committed unaliving people. So I don't feel like he all of a sudden got a conscience, y'all. I just don't. I feel like it has more to do with the legal strategy and that they were fighting and the battle of the egos. Y'all, let's get the likes up, please. Let's get the likes up.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, well, so the reality is in my opinion, you bunch of attorneys out there looking to slap a libel or slander charge on your boy. In my opinion, I think I'm going to lay out a pretty compelling case that he was almost certainly fired and not quit. And the reason that he was fired is due to another motion that was filed with the court. And when you, not only am I going to run you through this so you can see both motions, and it's like the point I'm making.
Yeah, Ty, I did hear that. I heard that he quit another big case. I forget Sammy the Bull, is that his name? Yeah, the Italian guy, the mafia guy. I did hear that.
This is probably why he was kicked off the case / quit, whatever. But also let's look at the quality of work by these two apparently separate parts of Diddy's defense team. And after I lay out the two side-by-side examples, you tell me, does he have the best attorneys still remaining on his team, or did the best attorneys just leave? Because there was one side that was incredibly elite competence, and another side that was incompetence on a level that's kind of unbelievable.
One side that they're talking about, and I'm watching some, I've watched bits and pieces of this, but I like to do a live reaction with you guys. Please, can we get those likes up? I'm feeling like he's going to say Mark Agnifilio is a bit incompetent because of some of his initial statements to the media. But let's see. I'm just thinking. I don't know. Ty is saying, hey, Lulu. Yes, you guys, please hit the like button.
One of them's still there and one of them's gone. So you guys can tell me in the comments which you think is which after we get into the details. But real quick before we get into it, for the last time this month, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make $50 for free if you haven't done it already. And I are offering you right now. I want to let you play around with that a little bit. Now you also could try to
skip and pass it
because my girl Rose Namajunas is fighting on Saturday. Amazing game. You'll be supporting my channel and you'll be getting.
Oh boy.
And that provides the opportunity for people who want to help the channel. You can really help me and the channel if you signed up. And you'll get a free $50, just like you said. But it would be incredibly helpful if you did this time. I appreciate you guys. Either way.
If y'all need a free $50, go check out his channel, which is I'll tell you in a minute, but anyway.
Don't feel obligated. All right, so just a reminder, what we're doing is we are going through a couple of these fact patterns. I'm going to show you both attorneys, and then I'm going to tell you why this attorney quit the Diddy case.
He's doing fine. It's a difficult circumstance, proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Okay, so you got that? That is one of his attorneys. All right, so put that in your memory bank, and now let's move over here. This is
and the other problem that I have with the fact that Anthony Rico quit is because a lot of people said that he had a close rapport with Diddy. He was always sitting beside him in the courtroom, hugging him, giving him positive messaging. So what happened?
That was on the case prior to one of them quitting.
We have appealed the initial bail decision to the Second Circuit, and we're going to keep trying to get him out in every way that's available to us.
How do you feel about the superseding indictment?
I only know what's happened, and that hasn't happened.
What's your argument to exclude the video from the hotel room from the evidence?
So I'm most respectful about yourself. Not going to get into that. We put that in our court papers that we filed yesterday, and I'm not going to elaborate on that.
What do you make of the Justin Bieber comments and the people who are shopping around this tape in Hollywood, apparently? Are you concerned about that?
Not at all.
Why?
It has nothing to do with the case.
Well, there's someone apparently on this video who says that they were involved in the freak-offs and it's being shopped around Hollywood. Have you heard anything?
I have my hands full with the discovery, and I'm not really paying attention to all that other stuff.
Listen to these things through the ears of a person assessing a legal mind, okay? A legal mind.
You guys, please get the likes up. Can we hit the like button? Can we
what
get
did he
to
say
15
right there?
likes?
Okay, everybody heard him say, no, I haven't heard about any of that. That's not what he said. So he didn't lie. He also didn't lie, dude. He also didn't lie. He gave an answer that deflected the question, but he did not lie because of course he knows that happened. But listen to what he actually said again. Did he deny that he knew?
Who says that they were involved in the freak-offs and it's being shopped around Hollywood. Have you heard anything?
I have my hands full with the discovery, and I'm not really paying attention to all that other stuff.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I respect a person who can navigate a question like that they do not want to answer without lying, or just overtly being like, we're not going to answer that question. Now, that comes from years and years and years and years of practice, being in front of juries, not lie. I like it when people don't have to lie, man, right? He needs to keep that relationship. The second that he says we're not answering that question, that's standoffish. That's a standoffish answer. This is a person who knows how to navigate conversations and remain likable. He's an incredibly competent attorney. And so that is very notable. I mean, not just from that exchange, but we're comparing two attorneys as we get into who and why someone was quit or fired, right? So here's what happened on February 19th. Sean Diddy Combs claims feds are going after him using racist law that no white person has ever been charged with. Okay, we went over this before. But just to reiterate, okay, I want to break down exactly what this motion actually says. I'm going to read you.
Okay, you guys, so he's going to go over the motion. I didn't really feel that that was a fair, I didn't think that was going to be a fair usage disclaimer for him, because most of his alleged victims were African American. So to me, it didn't make sense, but we're going to hear what he has to say. Let's get the lights up, you guys. Let's get the lights up.
An excerpt from it, and then I'll kind of define what is actually being said. Okay, so this is a quote. What was racist in its inception has often been racist in its operation. The 13-page memorandum of law in support of a motion to dismiss count 3 of the superseding indictment. Quote, the statute's target was black male sexuality. And from Jack Johnson to Chuck Berry, the statute's most notorious prosecutions targeted famous black men accused of deviant sexual behavior. This case continues that trend. In count 3, the government charges a violation of the act based on allegations that Mr. Combs transported male escorts from a legal escort service across state lines to have sex with his girlfriend. All right, so I was looking for additional information that was not in that article, so I switched articles. Same story, though. His lawyers filed a motion Tuesday to dismiss his transportation to engage in prostitution charge, arguing that, quote, no white person has ever been the target of a remotely similar prosecution. Okay, and this is unbelievable. They're saying the Mann Act of 1910 has historically been used to, quote, target black men.
And just let me clarify one thing, because I heard on a couple other channels that they think that he's using this argument to get the entire case dismissed. No, he's using it for a specific charge of transporting, trafficking, the trafficking where they're saying transporting. So it would not dismiss the entire case.
The act has a long and troubling history as a statute with racist origins used to target black men and supposedly protect white women from them. Okay.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And I'm just going to summarize it, right? Okay, or I could just quote this. He's singled out because he is a powerful black man and he is being prosecuted for conduct that regularly goes unpunished. All right? So that's that motion. And just to put that into perspective, okay, here's what he said legally, okay? He accuses the government of racially profiling Diddy and thus prosecuting him for committing a crime using a statute or a law that is not normally enforced, especially not against white people.
And you guys know, I mean, honestly, please get the likes up. Please hit the likes. Listen, I think Diddy needs to be prosecuted, but he's making a good point. I mean, I think the Lounge did a video about this a week or so ago. You got to think about people like Hugh Hefner, Larry Flint, all of those guys. They were doing some of the same things. I'm not saying it's right. We do know that they got Jeffrey Epstein and stuff like that, but there are just a lot of other men who have done similar things. I mean, just all over Hollywood, and you don't see them being prosecuted to this level. Let's get the likes up, you guys. So let me know what your thoughts are about that.
And you're like, all right, so I just want to break this down. Now, look, hey, spoiler alert. The whole point of me showing you the guys at the beginning was like, hey, which of these two attorneys do you think filed that motion?
I feel
this
like
guy
Anthony Rico.
Or this guy?
I feel like
okay?
Anthony Rico.
Hey, who came up with the bright idea to file that motion? And again, I just want to explain to you why that is so ludicrous, okay? Because what this dude actually...
You know what, you guys? This is the first time I'm actually associating that filing with Anthony Rico, because when Anthony Rico would come before they had the hearings and he would be addressing the press, remember, he was the one always making statements about they're trying to bring a black man down or bringing up issues of race. So this is crazy to me, y'all. I just noticed this. Y'all, please get the likes up. Let's get the likes up, you guys.
Said here in the motion is he's acknowledging that Diddy used the escort service, okay? Because there's another part of the filing where he says that the company that he used is advertised in Vogue and in Complex and all these, he names all these magazines that they promote their services. He's like, it's not like they're some underground service. They are in these, advertised in these large periodicals and blah 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 blah, right? And then says,
so he's trying to say that what Diddy did was use legalized or he used ex workers, but he paid them in that. That's kind of, to me, that's the conclusion he's trying to draw. You guys, let's get those likes up. Please
just
smash the like
getting
button.
these guys to come and have sex with his girlfriend in front of him, man. And these are not normally enforced. Okay, I didn't go to law school, dude, but apparently I have a better understanding of how all of this works than his attorney who wrote this, which I'm going to assume.
So Laura says, I mean, I've never seen anyone prosecuted for anything like this before, especially on this level besides Epstein, but it needs to end absolutely across the board, white, black, brown, polka dot, and all. I agree with you, Laura. Too many women have been, well, men as well. I mean, because Diddy has allegedly had some males, but I agree with you as well. No doubt.
Is this dude? And it's like, guy, none of those things makes any difference at all. Okay. You just admitted that he committed the crime that you are trying to get him out of in a court filing. Okay. First of all, your argument is idiotic to begin with. Like you just saying they're targeting him because he's black. That doesn't.
Hey, bring the mess TV girl. That wasn't you. I was on somebody else's channel. But thank you for joining. We're talking about Diddy.
Invalidate the law that exists and whether or not he committed the crime. It's as simple as this. If you are not legally allowed to transport a person whose profession is having sex with other people.
Now, you guys know that's what they got R. Kelly caught up on. Remember when R. Kelly was going through, there were a lot of things there were a couple charges that he was able to get thrown out. But the bringing the minors over state lines, the trafficking for payment of, you know what they call it, YouTube can't say stuff. That's what got R. Kelly caught up too.
Over state lines with the express intention of paying them to have sex with anyone, okay, then it's a crime if you do that. Bottom line, you may think the law is stupid and you may think most of the time it's not enforced, but if you do the thing that is written in law, then you have committed that crime, okay, like that. And so you say, well, it's not enforced on white people, is not a legal argument. That makes no difference. There's absolutely.
He's making a good point. Listen, if something is illegal, we know that there is a injustice in this society. We know that exists, but you can't just say he's white, he got away with it, I'm black and I didn't. If it's a crime, bro, you kind of in trouble. I mean, if you get caught, if they catch your black, then you gonna do the time. I'm sorry. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Please get the likes up.
Absolutely no way that the court is going to throw that out because your argument doesn't in any way even address the process by which the court is going to make decisions about whether or not something has credibility or should be thrown out or whatever. It makes no sense. It's one of the stupidest filings I've ever seen. Although I will say, having followed this case and, the Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni situation and reading that filing too, the most recent one, apparently lawyers just file these motions because they want to kind of say things. This guy said,
listen, lawyers, basically one of the things that attorneys do, because we would do it in the law firms that I've worked at, you throw everything, they call it like throw everything on the wall to see what sticks. So just like Jay-Z's attorney was able to Jay-Z's attorney was looking for all kind of technicalities. Well, the fact that Busby was not licensed to practice in that jurisdiction, that was enough to get the case dismissed. So that's what they do. Thank you, Ericy. Yes, y'all, hit that like button. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're trying to disrupt this case by any means necessary.
this in a podcast. Okay, that guy said that in a podcast 4 years ago. And so that, you're like, what are you doing? Are you just like, honestly, it makes me think that attorneys are just justifying hours of time that they've worked with their, with their client who doesn't know any better. And so they're like, yeah, I had to write this motion, took a lot of research. And so that's going to be $30,000.
And he ain't lying about that. Y'all, I said, let me just turn the camera around. I told you guys that I feel like Diddy's team, they're selling him up the river. This man I don't think he has a snowball chance in hell of winning this, but they are getting so much money. They need to do a plea deal. And I believe that's why Rico left. That's what I say.
You know what I mean? Even if maybe much more than that, actually, in some cases. But like, you made no argument that it has any chance at all of having a positive effect on your case. And in this case, it has a negative effect on it because you admitted in the filing that he committed the crime that you're trying to get dropped from the case. It's
That's
like
true.
Incompetence.
That's
okay?
true.
And again, I don't know that this guy did it, right? Maybe it was the lead attorney, this guy, who filed that motion. And then it was this guy, because guess when this guy quit, right? When did he leave the case? 2 days later. It was filed February 19th, and on February 21st, he left the case, okay? Took less than 48 hours for that motion to get filed and one of the attorneys to leave the case. So Well,
now that's interesting, too, now that he makes that statement. I mean, if we're thinking about it logically, if he was the strategist that came up with the idea for them to file the race-related element of the case, then why would he quit? So maybe it wasn't his idea. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I feel like he says y'all need to take a plea deal. Y'all jumping. Please let me know in the comments if you agree. Do you guys think Anthony Rico left because he was like, y'all, we're gonna lose this. Let's plea it down. Get the best deal possible because he's going to do time. Or do y'all just think he quit because hell, I don't know. He just quit. I don't know.
You tell me, dude, hey, which of these two guys do you think filed the dumbest motion ever crying racism when establishing racist intent would not have done anything because you admitted in the filing he committed the crime? So it's like, historically, in other cases, it's used against black people. What does that have to do with anything? You literally just admitted that he committed the crime and you're asking us to drop it from the case because you think it's mean that they chose to prosecute him for it? It's the stupidest thing ever. And so, given that this guy is the lead attorney, and it's
but I'm gonna have to disagree with him. I didn't think that would stand either because most of your victims are African American. However, if you are able to, nothing is stupid, you guys. Nothing is stupid. When you have a jury, you're pulling on the heartstrings of the jury. So if you can get some of the jurors to think, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe this is not fair. Just like with OJ. Then that's a good thing. So maybe this strategy wasn't so bad after all. I didn't think it was going to be effective, but if you just need reasonable doubt. You just need somebody, one or two people to go, oh no, we're not going for that. Yeah, this is racist. We're not going to convict. That could be what they're going for. Eric E says he's smart. He don't think they stand a chance. He made money already. Yeah, but Eric, okay, somebody else said, well, he could still be riding the wave and still getting his check. He could still stay on the legal team and just keep doing what he's doing because, they're getting paid really well. They said somewhere in the upwards of I either heard 108 or 180. So if you're looking at $100,000 a week, that's like almost $500,000 month in legal fees. And then that's just what your basic fees are with any additional extra stuff that comes up. Come on now. I would have stayed. I don't know. This man, Anthony Rico, has defended Osama bin Laden and murderers. So he also all of a sudden got a legal compass or morals. I don't know, Eric.
This guy who is no longer on the case, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this guy filed that motion.
Yeah, Eric, I wouldn't quit either. I would be kind of over in the cut, just getting my check, doing what I need to do, and consoling Diddy, sitting by him. Because y'all know when you guys look at the legal sketches courtroom, that is always Eric Rico that's sitting beside him. He's the one passing notes, the one that they say that he hugs him and, whispering in his ear. So like, Eric, but y'all, we're going to get to some drama. So we're going to get through this and hear this argument. Then we're going to talk about this other stuff they saying that Diddy may have been into some icy dead people.
Without discussing it with this guy who is the lead attorney, because this dude and Diddy, Diddy's sitting in there going crazy. I actually can excuse Diddy for bad strategic decisions right now because he's sitting in a box going insane all day, right? But then you have this dimwit who comes in there and Diddy's like, why don't we go with the, he starts telling him, no one, he probably had a meeting with him, honestly, and he's going through the charges and he's like, what is this man act? And this guy.
Bring the Mess TV says, who paying it, the elite? Diddy still has money. His assets have not been frozen. So from something I read about a week ago, they're depleting, they're using his funds. I mean, I don't know if he has some wealthy people backing him or something, but at this point, I believe, now y'all could jump in the chat and let me know how you feel. I feel like the elites will want him unalive more than they would want to fund this, because Diddy has so much dirt on people. They're saying that people like, okay, did you guys hear that ASAP Rocky Tocopina, I'm probably saying the name wrong, but the attorney who defended ASAP, Diddy apparently wanted him to represent him. He was on the Breakfast Club yesterday and he would not do it. Y'all get the likes up. Please hit the like button. He said no because Rock Nation does not like Diddy. So remember when we was saying all this stuff, does Diddy have that much money? Diddy is remember at one point he was just a couple years ago or a year ago, he was classified as a billionaire. And then after he sued the liquor companies, I think some of his money went down. But that, and that's a good question. Lulu's, because I don't want to get out of this screen. Can you just Google Diddy's net worth? Diddy should be close to being a billionaire. At the very least, he's got like 500 million. So he still has money. We went over a document looking at talking about the forfeiture of his assets. So he's still pretty well off. And if you think about it like this, remember he offered to give the court $50 million for bail, right? Remember, that's what he was offering. So that money is somewhere. But they're eating it up pretty fast with all the legal fees, but it's somewhere around there. Let's get back to here so we can get through this. So we ain't up here all day on this. And y'all, please hit the like button.
There's a lot of history of those laws, I would imagine. And so it's probably true that the inception of that law did have racist intent in 1910, right? It's never enforced or whatever. So he gives him the historical, basis of this law and then tells Diddy how he's in a bad spot. He's he's being a victim of whatever. And so Diddy probably goes crazy. He's like, file the motion, whatever. This guy just does it. And then you have this dude behind him who is his main attorney, who literally looked at him and was like, you are incompetent. And let me tell you why. And then he's like, you're fired.
Let me say this. So this is what I know about a legal team. The lead attorney on the case would not file a motion that he did not support. You are the lead. If any attorney below you, if there's 5 attorneys, so there's 1 through 5, you are number 1. 2 through 5 will not override your decision. It will not be done. So I disagree with what he's saying. That had to be sanctioned by the Magnafilio or Agnafilio, my bad, or it would not have been filed. So if he's trying to blame Anthony Rico for this filing, BS. He was, I believe he was number 2 in terms of the lineup. Like it was Agnafilio, Mark Agnafilio, then Tony Rico, and then on down. So no way. No, that would not have been filed if he didn't agree. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not even letting him talk to Diddy. So what are you talking about, sir? Please get the likes up. This man's making me mad now.
And then moving into the filing today, which, like I said, is the polar opposite of the filing that we just went over, where this threatens to topple the entire prosecution's case. Okay, I think the timing, though, it is possible that exactly how this happened from a timeline perspective is you have Diddy meets with Rico. They have that conversation. He tasks Rico with filing that motion without discussing with the lead attorney, Agnifilo. And then after that's filed, Agnifilo.
That's BS. That would never happen in a case like this. You're never going to file something without the approval of the lead. That just does not happen. I don't care. Sir, well, you clearly not, and I'm not knocking it, but if you work in a law firm or anything, you know that if something like that gets filed without the list, anyway.
Comes and explains to Diddy why what they did was completely ludicrous, and that guy needs to be off the team for gross mismanagement. First of all, he filed a motion without even talking to the lead attorney.
That's not going to happen. You know what, you guys, let me say this before I even bite my tongue and say something what could and shouldn't happen. I need to go back to the motion and see whose signature was on it. Because if Anthony Rico's signature was on it, okay, then he has a standing leg. But if Mark Agnifilio's signature is on that motion, I'm going to jump through the screen and slap the ish out of this man. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm just lying. I'm like, I ain't slapping nobody. Please get the likes up.
And in the motion, he essentially admitted to the crime that you are being accused of in an attempt to get the charges dropped. It's so incompetent that it's bordering on insane. And then so Diddy, being Diddy, maybe he says, well, at least he's doing something. You know, you guys have seen Diddy, right? Like, you guys have seen Diddy operate. Does that sound like Diddy? At least he's doing something, man. I'm just here going crazy. I'm going crazy, man. I'm just here going crazy. What are you doing to get me out of here, man? And at that point, Agnifilo, his lead attorney, tells him that we've been working on a motion that goes for the entire tree, which would state essentially that the legal basis that they had to raid your homes, which is where they got all of this digital evidence against you, which led to knowing who all of these people were to go talk to those victims, all the prosecution witnesses, every single thing that they have is fruit of the poisonous tree if they can prove this motion. He's like, okay, do you understand what fruit of the poison?
So basically he's saying instead of that particular motion, that they're just saying that the basis for all of this, the base of the tree, like it's all wrong. And if the base is contaminated, the root of the case, then it's a no-go. Please get the likes up, y'all. Come on.
This tree means, or fruit of a poisonous tree. I don't remember which one it is, you know. But like that, fruit of a poisonous tree. Do you understand what that means, Diddy? Because if this goes our way, it kills their entire case. Because even if they have witnesses, you can argue the only reason they even knew to talk to that witness is because they violated the law. They went in, they got the video, they found the person in the video and went and found them in real life. That's how they found the girl who was in the recording studio that got tied up, you know, the one that we talked about, and she threw up. Okay, how do you think, where do you think that case came?
What girl is he talking about that was tied up and threw up? Y'all tell me, because it's so many witnesses, and I don't believe them all. And some of what he's referring to sounds to me like one of the civil suits. So I don't even know if it's part of the indictment. Bring Them STV says we can see all 50 of y'all hit the like. Thank you, girl. Okay, they just listen. Y'all don't let me play the race card in here, okay? I'm about to be black. Y'all won't hit the like button because of the Mann Act because I'm black, okay? I'm just playing. Oh, let me get like Diddy, y'all.
20 years later. I mean, I don't.
Wait, it worked for somebody. So just like I said, it's gonna be one juror that's gonna feel guilty and be like, "Oh, let me do it." Okay, yeah, she did say it's the race base. Okay.
No, for sure.
Oh,
but I know that she was shocked to find out that there was a video of the assault. Remember that? That's what she said.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This is the girl. If you guys haven't seen that video.
Okay, you guys remember her? That was the girl who says her boyfriend worked for Diddy, and then he wanted to talk to Dana Thompson. Said, it was me. Thank you, Dana. Dana. Let me send you a heart. Dana. Thank you for hitting that like button. Y'all being mean to me because I'm black. Okay. Y'all, the Mann Act in full effect. Bring the Mess TV says we hate supporting each other. It's sad. Crabs in a barrel mindset. Oh no, but I thank all of you guys for hitting the like button. you know what? People just be, I don't know, they just don't want to hit it. Hell, girl, they act like YouTube gonna send them a bill and be like, but you know what, you guys, since I said that, I done got like 3 or 4 likes. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to continue. Nah, not in this era where they talking about DEI fires and stuff. I'm not gonna play like that. But thank you, Dana. Thank you. Y'all, I'll be getting off topic. Anyway, okay, let's get back to this man.
Yeah. Man, it is rough.
Oh! I know what I was saying, you guys. What I was saying is, okay. So remember, that's the one he's talking about. Because I was saying, who was tied up and threw up. Remember, that's the one whose boyfriend. I don't know if he was security for Diddy, but he worked for Diddy, and she claims Diddy called her, and I think she was with. Remember, she came out with Gloria. What's her last name, y'all? Altright, whatever that heifer's name is. Y'all know her name. They came out and did the press conference, and remember, one of the other security guys said that she had contacted him and said, if you go along with my story, I will give you money. So that's who he's talking about. Now, her case, I don't know. That's a civil case. And I don't know, because I think they shot holes in her case and people are saying they don't believe her at this point. I think her case kind of went out the window too. So, sir, you mentioned in the wrong.
I made it was a video about Justin Bieber. There's a video, or on the thumbnail, there's a picture of a dude who does kind of look like Bieber. You know, he's tied. It's not Bieber, but he's hogtied.
Oh.
And there's a part of the thing about Bieber. You know, I think the title has something to do with Bieber, but the hogtie, the actual hogtie reference is about this case where this girl was hogtied and just brutally assaulted by Diddy. And her story is insane.
And see, that's the thing. Sometimes when their story is insane, the way you're saying it, it's really an insane lie. I know Diddy did a lot of ish. But some of these people, and y'all know who we talking about, where these people talking about they saved people on Epstein Island. They swim 10 miles. One girl said she pulled Diddy out of a fire, beat him up and threw him back. Come on now. We can't believe everything.
It's insane. But and it was 20 years ago, and the way she found out, someone brought her a video of it. Okay, so again, all the civil case.
Y'all, I hate to quit pausing the video, but here's the crazy thing about it. Y'all, listen to this. Please get the lights up again, because I'm black. Remember, you guys, when they asked the attorney, Gloria, had she seen the video, what did she say? How you gonna represent somebody and you didn't see the video evidence? No, she had never seen it. It's kind of reminding me of a Busby move. I'm sorry. It is.
Cases will move forward, but the criminal case, I don't think that the prosecution can use her if the way that she was found is through, a warrant that was obtained lying to the judges. Okay, so that's essentially what they're arguing, and I'm going to tell you what they're going to say, what they say that the lie is. Okay, so then they file it, right? Like he's like, that's what we're working on. And Diddy's like, why didn't you say something? He's like, I mean, I did 100 times. I just didn't think I had to like specifically notate to you and, the black attorney on our team, conspire together and come up with some ludicrous argument about racism without consulting me and then filing that.
But sir, racism does play a part. Let's not act like it does not. Now, how it aligns with this case, I don't know, it's a little shaky, but we ain't gonna totally refute it because it does happen in some instances.
I needed to, make a specific point about that. I just assumed you guys were not that stupid. But, it's not your fault. You're going crazy in a 4x6. That guy, nah. Anyway, so here is the motion, right? So evidence federal prosecutors obtained through searches of Sean Diddy Combs' homes in through Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles, Miami, and elsewhere must be suppressed because the warrants that authorized those searches were unconstitutional, defense attorneys argued Sunday in a new court filing. Okay.
So now they're trying to say that the search warrants were not authorized and were unconstitutional. So that's where we are after all his blah, 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 blah. That's what we're trying to get to. And that's the part that if this motion goes through and they can say that it was unconstitutional, which Diddy, come on, they not going to do that. Then Diddy is looking at, that's pretty good for his case if it happens, but it's not.
Okay. The defense argued the warrant applications for the Diddy house's iCloud accounts phones, hotel room were overbroad, excluded facts that could have been favorable to Combs, and presented a grossly distorted picture of reality. Okay, so what they're talking.
Hey, Veronica, welcome to the chat. And I saw what you said. My. Official King Payne. I love it when he's
talking about, again, they're talking about the motions that went to the judge, or the warrant applications that went to the judges. It's like, here's why we need to raid his home. Okay, like you can't just like raid people's homes. I assume all of you.
But bring the mess TV. If they did get the evidence and they leaked the videos, that's gonna be a problem for the prosecution team, though. They can't do that though. If they did that, oh girl, don't tell me that. I'm hoping somebody snuck that tape, made a copy. I don't know. But if they leaked that, you can't leak evidence. That's the problem. No.
You guys know that,
don't
right?
Say that.
Unusual search and seizure, all that. You know, you have it's in the Constitution, right? You have to go to a judge. They have to give a specific warrant so that you can enter people's homes and go grab all their stuff. Search warrant. Everybody knows that. And the application on that, they're saying were lies, or at the very least were grossly misrepresented.
So he's trying to say that they fabricated the reason that they needed a search warrant. But I'm going to say after the stuff with Cassie, and just a reminder, you guys, please hit that like button. Get the likes up, y'all. Please get the likes up. Give me a wig shift. Help me adjust my wig up in here, y'all. Let's do a wig shift, maybe. Okay, it's on good. Veronica says, my. How did they leak right after the
presented? And like I said, when I started this, I don't think that their argument is off base, dude.
I mean, I know, but because they're saying that, Cassie allegedly had the tapes as well. But if the prosecuting team, and I feel what you're saying though, because they really wanted the public, and I don't know why they would do it so far away from the beginning of the trial if they were really trying to prejudice everybody. I mean, I don't know. I just hope they didn't, because if they did, and there's a finding that they did, then this is not going to be good for the prosecutors. It's just not. I don't know.
Like at all. So the heavily redacted, and again, I just want to keep reiterating, I'm not saying that Diddy's innocent. I'm just talking about in terms of the legal process. The heavily redacted defense motion does not publicly reveal the specifics of what prosecutors allegedly omitted, but said the warrant.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to say that the basis in which that they obtained the search warrant was somewhat exaggerated and fictitious. But here's the other thing: the feds have been looking at Diddy for years. Diddy has always been under federal investigation. So maybe this was just after Cassie's lawsuit, then this was just the time that he was ripe for them to go in. And y'all got to help me with this one. Veronica says, my, personally, I do not think Mr. Combs is guilty for everything against him. Veronica, I think that Diddy is guilty of some stuff, not everything. Let me put it like this. I think Diddy is guilty, but not all of the people that are coming up against him. Some of these people just want a cash grab. So yes, wig shifted, adjust, and secure. Hey, loving myself, how you doing today, boo? I just put out my nail intro video. Oh, okay, you guys, go follow Lulu's World 93. That's my co-host today, and go follow Loving Myself, and she put up a nail video, and go follow Bring the Mess TV and Loving Myself. Let me show. I had my nails done. I used to be a nails girl. I used to do the Japanese gel nail. I used to try to do it on my own, but okay, you guys, I'll be talking about nails.
Eliminated important context that the magistrate judge who approved them should have seen, including about a certain witness that the defense contended had reason to fabricate and embellish. Okay, they're talking about Cassie. That's who this is. I mean,
Yeah, so they're trying to say that Cassie wanted a cash grab, and so when they got the search warrants, it was based on her falsehoods. Well, it's not false because they did have a situation, but the fact that she was trying to extort him and get him money, that's kind of what they're saying, but they're not saying it the way I'm saying it, so.
For sure. I keep out, I know we're talking like big, sometimes these videos I have videos that got 1 million views about this. Okay, I have to be careful. I have to assume that people who would want to sue me and have the willingness and ability to sue me might watch it. That's why I have to say, Do I know for sure? No. But again, I'm pretty good at this. And I would say the likelihood that is Cassie is,
Yeah, we
it's
know it's
nearly
Cassie.
a certainty to me.
It's Cassie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Cassie.
So, but it worked. The government, and by the way, the reason she would have a reason to embellish and lie is because she had a, civil charge. She got a $30 million settlement.
Yeah.
By saying, what is implied to have been his behavior in these things. Now, obviously, he beat up Cassie, of course. We all know that. And I'm sure, I'm not saying he was like a good guy to Cassie, right?
Here's another thing, you guys. So we know that the whole Cassie video is horrific. It's terrible. He was very, very wrong. But wherein would somebody get 20 or 40 years for beating up somebody? I done had plenty of girlfriends get popped upside. I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying it's way deeper than that. It's more to it than that. Veronica says, my, Cassie, if she was being treated so poorly by Mr. Combs, why didn't she leave? Cassie is full of crap too. Now, see, that's an unpopular opinion. Can y'all hit the like button? Hit the like button. Miss Veronica, my baby. You are one of the people. I did a video with Malika from Making the Band, and she had the same sentiments as you, okay? Listen, Cassie, in my opinion, at some point was just as, culpable. She was going along with it. And some people who knew her from back in the day when he was with Kim Porter, they said Cassie was up there treating Kim bad too. So she wasn't tripping, and then him beating her up, absolutely wrong. But I feel like Cassie rode that wave because she was getting that bag and getting that money. I also want to know, what did you do, Cassie? If he was messing with kids, did you mess with him too? Like, I got some questions for Cassie too. But y'all know she done took a deal, so she won't have to answer to anything. She's off the hook.
The way that they are presenting her as a victim of, like in these freak offs, as she's a victim, right? That's shaky, man. Just her. I'm not talking about everybody. But Cassie was with him for 11 years, and they did this like weekly, supposedly. She would be the one who went and reserved hotel rooms. She's the one who would reach out and get escorts half the time. Okay, that's per everything I've read.
See, that's my point. Like, girl, you can't be riding or dying with somebody for damn near 10 years, and then at the last minute, at the last inning, oh, he made me do everything, and show a video. Well, he popped me. Girl, yeah, he probably did. It's the same thing with the pimps and the HOEs. Like, same thing. Y'all don't have no sympathy for them. Veronica says, my, I have never been in an abusive relationship, but I know one damn thing. Stand with no man that treat me less than. I mean, I've been in verbal abuse, child, but I ain't never been hit. Hey, Ashley, welcome to the chat. Hey, ma'am, knowing Sean had known them cameras there, so with him doing that to Cassie practically in public, no telling what Sean had done to her behind closed doors. Ashley, I agree with you. Listen, we know this man is abusive. We know that he did some stuff. Y'all get the likes up, please. 90 people up here, and y'all can't give a chick a like. Come on now. But see, it gets a little shaky because she was getting gifts. I mean, there was some benefit to her. And I know women stay in bad relationships for whatever reason. So I'm not knocking the victim, but I just don't believe in that long span of time that Cassie was not guilty. And there are people, other men and people around, even a woman came forward and kind of made comments that she was enjoying some of it. And she's probably, he did her dirty, but that wasn't totally. And I don't know how to say it. And Offer, please don't forget that. Actually, I'm not totally against what you're saying. I just feel like I would always tell my daughter, if you are with the crowd, then you are the crowd. If your friends get busted from some stuff, don't come tell me it was all them because you was there. So that's my parenting style. I don't believe if you with a group of people, y'all all guilty, y'all did something. I mean, to some point. Now, if you get caught up into something once or twice, that's one thing. But over a effing decade, girl, bye. Veronica says, Cassie ain't innocent. Maybe Mr. Combs was taking care. Well, they did say he was giving her family money, too. I mean, there are a lot of reasons for her to stay. I ain't gonna lie. I've never been bopped upside my head. But hell, if you think women get beat up for free. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's the truth. So if you getting bopped and you getting Lear jets and $50,000, I don't know if that makes a difference. I think it does. I think it does.
She was the one.
And let's keep in mind, oftentimes when we hear about these women that were in abusive relationships, my grandmother fled from Missouri with 4 babies because she was being abused. A lot of these women stay because they don't have money, resources, they have children, a lot of different reasons. Cassie ain't had no baby by this man. The one thing that she was getting was money. Ashley says, Pac and Big, I know Sean had behind off of both of them. Girl, they are saying that is coming out too, that woof. And you guys, with Miss Wallace, Biggie's mom passing, I said it's sad that she did not get to see Puffy come to his full justice. However, she did get to see him behind bars, so that's good enough. She can rest in peace knowing that justice is coming for her son. So, you know, R.I.P.
Setting these things up, all right? But it worked. The government got its warrants, leaked damaging information, and then executed a military-style raid at the Combs residence. Here, rather than giving the reviewing magistrate fair summary, the government hid exculpatory evidence to bolster the case. Okay? It said that some of the most salacious details recounted in the search warrant applications came from an unnamed producer whose accusations were never credible. They're talking now. That one is what's his name?
That's Little Rod. Now, y'all have to know Little Rod sued Diddy before, and they both times, I think it was maybe once or twice previously, and both of those cases were dropped. So his attorneys are essentially saying, y'all got this indictment based on some trumped up charges, and you didn't even, yeah, that's what he's saying. Y'all get the likes up. Come on now. Can we get a couple more likes?
You guys all know.
Little
oh my
Rod,
God, he's got like a funny name.
Little Rod. It's not funny. It's Little
It's the
Rod.
producer that worked on the Love album, and he filed that lawsuit that named everybody.
It's
like just named absolutely everybody.
Little Rod. Little Rod.
His name is going to come to me, and it's going to drive me nuts.
Okay.
But you guys know who we're talking about if you follow the case.
We know.
And those were never credible. What producer one told investigators is redacted, but the defense said had relayed stories about his time working for Combs. Now, that guy never got paid, okay? He has a really big beef with Diddy.
So now you got to, and see, they're going to use all of this. Those are 2 good reasons for them to come forward into try, just like with A$AP Rocky. A$AP walked, but the guy who sued him, he wanted money. So we know Diddy did something, but whew, y'all hit the like button. Come on.
Doesn't mean that a lot of the stuff that he said in his lawsuit is maybe not true, but I'm just like, he does have a reason to, do it. And so the process, if the investigators are using just his word without any kind of, just this guy said this, then that's shaky too. But most of it, from my position, has to do with the Cassie stuff. You know what I mean? And here's the big thing. The Moses said that the government does not plan to call producer one to testify. Why would they not? Okay, if he's credible enough to get a search warrant from, but now it turns out they're not even going to use him as a witness.
Hey, Sheldon, welcome to the chat. Yes, Little Rod. We're trying to help you, bro. Little Rod.
Which means his information was not credible, which means that what they're saying is basically the entire basis of the search warrant was from the word of Cassie, who had a reason to lie. And also the big one is that there are videos of these freak-offs, tons of them, right? And the defense is like, she's a willing participant. It's not even, they're like, and everything I've read about that, it's like, it's not even up for debate, man. Like, she was a willing participant in this. She was not like more than a willing participant. She was a enthusiastic participant in the freak.
See, I think, so their defense is saying that, first of all, the search was, it's an illegal search, and they're also trying to paint Cassie as a willing participant. And I'm going to say 50% of that, it's if she was in there, I just don't think it's going to be good in turn. Listen, if you got videos of this woman participating, she's admitted to calling, then it's kind of going to be hard because they're going to cross-examine her, and it's going to be grueling. If they can find anything where she said, because it doesn't take a lot, if they can find any instances where she was agreeable or she initiated it, that's going to be a problem for The prosecuting side. It is. Y'all get the likes of it. Y'all want me to act a fool up in here, right? Y'all must want me to cuss a motherfucker out for a like. Come on now. No, just playing. I'm
Okay.
playing.
Now, obviously, look, I don't have any idea what it's like to be in a relationship where some dude is beating me up and I have no ability to physically protect myself. I don't have any idea what that's like. What I am saying, though, is if you have a thing that you do once a week for 11 years or whatever, let's say they started 2 years, for almost a decade.
Okay, so Harmony Bones says, Cassie F, that's what you call her, posing like she's having babies over 75 years young. But okay, if you say so. Now, see, I was saying somebody else kind of tried to shift my wig on that because I said, what if Cassie, because if she's on the stand testifying and she's pregnant, that's going to be way bad for Diddy. Because whatever she did, she's going to say, oh, back then I was on drugs and, he made me do it. But I'm a mommy now. I'm on my third baby. That's going to make him look bad. So I said, what if she is exaggerating the babies, right? Somebody said, no, Miss Mamas. They saw pictures. So she is definitely pregnant. But I thought that would be a good strategy because that would definitely unseat Diddy. That would just not, whatever she says, she's going to be a saint because nobody's going to go after a pregnant woman. Veronica says, my. Apparently, she was down with the freak offs, getting her cheeks clapped. I almost said her SSA, okay? She was doing it. Listen, she was bending over. I've been young at one point, and I was down with some stuff that now, oh my God. Oh, Lord, when you go to the church house, oh, Lord, that wasn't me. Remember, y'all, what about can we get the likes up? What about y'all? Remember, you guys, what's the tape they were coming out with, the freak offs in Atlanta? That thing that they do every year. They pay for her surgery. It would look good if they freak offs. They all were. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss. Yes, Harmony Bones. What is that thing that they had in Atlanta where they had that video coming out where they were showing everybody every year they had the annual freak off thing where everybody would go. I never got to go. I wanted to go, but I never got to go. And so y'all know when they was getting ready to come out with those videos, people were pissed. I think it was going to be a movie or like a documentary, and I don't even know. You know what? It actually did come out. I haven't seen it yet, but it came out. And do y'all remember how many of those women who went to the freak offs, who was freaking off getting their cheeks clapped, they did not want that documentary aired. They tried to get it blocked because they didn't want their kids to see. They did not want that information about them to come out. Some of them were members of the church. Some of them had, gotten good positions. Mind you, in the freak off time, they was probably maybe in their early 20s. Some people like barely 18 or whatever. They didn't want them videos out. So this is the same thing. You do things when you're young and dumb. Okay, we get it. Veronica says, my Cassie was a grown woman. She could have stopped all the rugging and Xing if she really wanted to. I cannot, no victim shaming, but I agree with you, Veronica. There's a point in which you can't keep blaming somebody 10 effing years. And I remember they said something about after he allegedly, hit her up a couple times, she went to her mother and she went back. Let me tell you something. Ain't no way in HE double hockey sticks my daughter coming home with no busted eye or nothing and she get to go back. One of us is going to have a problem. For real. Serious. It's never, ever. We going to have some problems. You not going back or not going back. It's going to be a problem. So I didn't even understand how that happened. I don't care if I have to get you kidnapped, if we got to get family and store you away somewhere. It's not happening. It's not happening, y'all. Sheldon says, y'all have to remember this guy knows people. I mean, listen, Sheldon, I don't think that, like I said, I don't think Diddy is innocent. But I also believe that Cassie participated. Let's go back to some people that Freaknik, exactly. Freaknik. So y'all saw how mad these women were once them Freaknik videos was coming out, right? So do you guys not think that after she got with Kevin Fine, who was Diddy's trainer that, you know, she was like, oh, well, yes, you know, he made me do all of these things. Hell, I would say the same thing. If I was out there hoeing or, you know, doing stuff and then, you know, this man is living well, he got money. Because I had even asked Malika, the lady from Making the Band, I was like, girl, did you ever think about trying to get a check yourself? A lot of people were trying to get money. And I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. But girl, you're not 1,000% innocent. That's all I'm gonna say about Cassie. She's
and
not.
you are actively taking steps to set those things up yourself, and you never really like. It's not like she like kept running away and trying to break up with Diddy and then getting drawn back in. Like it's not like it was like that. She's like an R. Kelly situation. Then if you are getting a reason to invade someone's home, then you know.
And here's another thing. Allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but his team says that they do have evidence of Cassie. It sounds like, you know, showing that she was down with some of this. So she better hope that there's no evidence of her ever being with this, initiating it, or agreeing to it, because that's not going to look good on her part. And I'm pretty sure over a 10-year period, when you talk about a young woman who got with him when she was 18 or 19 to maybe almost in her late 20s, at some point she probably did agree to do a lot of this. Veronica says no Diddy trainer knew what was going on with Cassie and Diddy. Yeah, he's the one who allegedly helped her get off.
And again, I'm just thinking through this legally. Like, if they are able to demonstrate that Cassie was not, in fact, unwilling and that it was a lie, then if that was used as the basis to go raid his homes and then the rest of the entire case is based on the raids, then that would make all the evidence fruit of the poisonous tree if the judge sides with the defense.
What he's saying is absolutely true. And it's a great argument, but sir, I don't think it's going to work. I just don't think it's going to work. But I do think that Cassie is not going to admit. Y'all get the likes up, please. Let's get the likes up. She's not. Who was going to admit some of the stuff that her and Diddy did? She's a mother now. She's going to be ashamed. There are things that I did when I was younger that I don't want my daughter to know. Ashley says, no, ma'am, I'm sure no, ma'am, I'm sure Cassie, but didn't she leave Sean? And he made her come back from her own home. I believe she did leave him a couple times and she went back. I do think. And I think when Wendy Williams talked about that as well.
Okay. Now, do I think that they are going to? I don't know. I have no idea. What I'm saying, I mean, I guess what I would say is this. I think Cassie was much more involved. Like, I think that eventually these freak off things, that she was a very active participant. I
guess that's my point too. I'm not trying to determine whether she was a victim or not. I do believe that in the early stages, she was much more of a willing participant than she wants to admit now. Maybe that's a better way to state it.
That she was like being held hostage for 10 years. And then every single time for 10, I mean, dude, and they were saying like once, twice a week. All right, for 10 years, she has to drive herself there. She has to have her driver take her there. She has to have, like, she wasn't with Diddy all the time. She had to make choices to get there. She could have fled. I know he's scary, but there's a big difference between like, yeah, I'm scared of him, and then also we do this thing over here for 10 straight years, and I am a victim every single time. You know, like she's not like R. Kelly. She wasn't locked in rooms. You know, there is some responsibility from her to be had. And my point is that particular thing being the sole basis of how they got the search warrants, and then every part of the case being that, if you can break that one flimsy little thing where it's like, dude, she wasn't a victim in what you're saying, and it wasn't even reasonable to say that, then you could potentially bring the whole tree down. I honestly don't think it's very likely that the judge will rule that way. My guess, honestly, is that they've got the judge, you know. This is my guess, dude. I'm just saying, you know, the reason this happened is because he went up against BlackRock. Like, it's probably not that hard. Rodney Jones, by the way, is who we were talking about. And then also, I want to show you this, dude. Check this out, okay?
Can somebody hit the like button, please? Can somebody please hit that like button? Come on, y'all.
Because Gabrielle and I were looking at something this weekend having to do with these guys, all right? So check this out. All right. So when you look at the pictures of these guys, right? Like when you look at this, the first thing I said, this is Cassie's new husband, is I was like, bro, that guy looks like another one who's down to swing both ways. You know what I mean? That was like my honest take. I'm like, whoa, that dude's down for whatever. And I looked here, I'm like, oh, she's in another relationship doing the same thing, would be my guess. If I just look at these two, and I know for sure that she was in a swinger lifestyle.
Now, what do y'all think about that? Do you guys think that her husband may be part of the freak offs too? Because I found a picture of them in some matching furs, and it straight up looked like a movie from the 70s with one of those pimp, like Superfly. Like, this man is wearing a fur. I think he has no shirt under it. I was like, to me, it looks like a situation where he was able to finesse her, to finesse Diddy, to me.
Relationship before.
And some pictures he looks like he's on DRUGS's as well, too. Hey, Rick Scar. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Rick, can you hit that like button for me, please? Can you, sir?
Eyeballing it. I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're in the life for sure. You know, that's what swingers call swinging, the life.
If y'all go to Cassie's Instagram page, you guys, again, not victim shaming. But if you go to her Instagram page, she has pictures where it's very provocative. I just feel like a person who has been violated to this degree with these videos circulating out there, like, you would be a little bit more demure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you don't want anybody to think that you were that girl when you were with Diddy. Like, she's saying, like, he had her doing the freak offs, clapping cheeks, doing it with all different kind of men. It seems to me like you wouldn't want to be so provocative. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just, like, I don't know, it's giving weird to me. It just gave weird. Ricky says probably.
This to me definitely looks like people who are down to, like, eat some drugs and bang for 3 straight days, right? And here's what really did it for me is when you scroll down, like, here's them again.
Let me go back.
But then you get down to here,
I want you guys
like,
to see this picture. This is what he's talking about.
3 straight days, right? And here's what really did it for me is when you scroll down, like, here's them again.
Lord.
But then you get down to here, okay? Like, these are obviously older pictures, and look at him, okay? Look at him. Look at his eyes. He's clear here.
Yeah, I think he's I think he's been on. If you look at some of his pictures, it looks like sometimes he looks.
Jones, by the way, is who we're talking about. And then also, I want to show you this, dude.
So, Sheldon, I agree with you. A lot of women were abused in those times and left and went back with the same guy. I mean, I'm not knocking women who do it. I think women do it for a lot of different reasons. One of the biggest reasons that they say women who go back, they often have children or they don't have money, they can't leave, and they stay. And some women just stay because they're the Stockholm syndrome, they're in love and all of these things. So I'm not, I get it. It's just, I think when you couple Cassie with money, it's hard to really see the line of delineation between. It's different when I have a woman who has 5 kids and she says, I had nowhere to go, I had nothing. And then you see a woman who has apartments and cars and, giving Birkin bags and like $50,000 to $100,000 in trips. It just makes you wonder, what was the real pull for you? Was it the love, or were you in love with the resources? That's what I think.
Check this out, okay? Because Gabrielle and I were looking at something this weekend having to do with these guys, all right? So check this out, all right? So when you look at the pictures of these guys, right? Like, when you look at this, the first thing I said, this is Cassie's new husband, is I was like, bro, that guy looks like another one who's down to swing both ways.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I mean? That was like my honest take. I'm like, whoa,
I didn't think
that
that.
dude's down for whatever. And I looked here, I'm like, oh, she's in another relationship doing the same thing, would be my guess.
I felt like, if you look at him in different pictures, it looks like he may, get some pharmaceuticals. That's what I saw.
If I just look at these two, and I know for sure that she was in a swinger lifestyle relationship before, and I'm just eyeballing it, I'd be like, oh yeah, they're in the life for sure. That's what swingers call swinging, the lifestyle. And I mean, this to me definitely looks like people who are down to like eat some drugs and bang for 3 straight days, right? And here's what really did it for me is when you scroll down, like here's them again, but then you get down to here, okay? Like these are obviously older pictures, and look at him, okay? Look at him. Look at his eyes. He's clear here. For those of you who know, okay, like for those of you who know what you're looking at, right here, he looks clear, right? Just like me, you know? Right here, I look clear.
No, sir, you look a little bit like you might have had something before you came online, but that's not my business. That's your business.
And check this out, okay? Compare that to that. I mean, are you guys people who I guess, you know, I am not making a direct accusation, Cassie and your husband. I know you guys have lots of money to sue people. I have no idea what you guys do. I'm just saying on an eyeball test, if I was forced to guess whether or not these two have learned that, you know, it's fun. It's fun to ingest substances that potentially enable you to have sex for a very, very long time with multiple people. That might be something that they know about. And I have a feeling that this
thank you, Eric E. Eric is saying, y'all get them likes up. Get the likes up, y'all, please. Harmony Bone says Gene Deal. Oh, Lord. Harmony, you about to get me in trouble because I'm going to sit up here and talk about Jamil, be talking about Gene Deal's kneecaps.
Of the dude was not aware of that. And at this point, only one of them would have known, you know, believe it or not, you guys. Women can, in fact, influence a couple's sexual behavior. It has happened before. This would not be the first time. Yeah, they looked so wholesome back then. Not so wholesome now.
If you guys look at pictures on her Instagram, this man looks like he be getting a little bit zilted. If you know, the same way we look at Justin Bieber and he looks like he's out of it. This guy, if you look at him now, he looks off a little bit. And I don't mean mentally, but like he's on them rugs.
Man, $30 million. They're going to have some fun times, you know? Big hangovers. Anyway, so that's what I got, all right? You got 2 attorneys. He's still got the good one. The other one, I can't even, I still, like, when you really think, I can't even wrap my brain around the fact that he all but admitted to committing the crime that they are asking to have dropped because it's not traditionally used against white people or something. It's like, it's the dumbest argument ever. Anyway, that's what I got. And for those of you who waited this long, first of all, you should definitely.
Okay, you guys. So basically, he's saying that, you know, so Harmony says y'all still think they gave her some money, huh? And she tricked the court. I think that she did get a payout. But I feel like it was, I low-key feel like it was extortion, like it was blackmail. Isn't it? Because they said she came to him and said, hey, give me this money or I'm going to write the book and release this information. And so I thought that was extortion. However, I've learned through this case that basically it's called a catch and kill. So she is able to do it. It's like, well, if you pay me, then I won't write this book. But yeah, I think, you know, allegedly she got about $30 million. So I think that she did get paid off. Vanna says, my thing right now is how the F she settled the day after she filed something is filing something. That was a terrible, well, I'm just going to say from a legal. Hey, Vanna G, welcome to the chat. Please hit the like button, Sweet Peach. Day after she filed something is going on. Well, that was Diddy that settled. So she probably filed and then he settled. His attorneys, you know, which is a bad move. They probably, first of all, it should not have even been a pleading filed. If they were going to settle and he just didn't take her serious. And a lot of that's his own undoing. I don't know what kind of lawyer would allow him to get to the cases filed because then it's a public record. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless they are able to get things redacted. So it got settled the next day because he didn't want that information out there. He knew that there had been some wrongdoing. But that, to me, the way he settled, it really looked bad. And I mean, I don't know what your point is, but if you're saying that he settled and that screwed up his case, I agree with you. Y'all, we got to get into some other stuff that they're talking about Diddy. Now, I don't know if you guys have been hearing about this. I don't know where I've been trying to find. Let me go here. I've been trying to find whatever document these people are referring to, but you guys, they are talking about necrophilia, and y'all know what that is. That is having relations with a unalive person. So let me go back and play this for you. Let me see. Okay, hold on.
In a newest lawsuit. All right, now that I've seen like 5 videos on my FYP talking about how Diddy's been accused of necromancy in a newest lawsuit, I think it's time to split these two words up because this is not illegal while this one is, and they're both Greek words, and I'm Greek, and it's my first language, so let's break this down. Now, necros means death. That's the same in both. Philia means love, meaning when you say necrophilia, it's someone who has sexual intercourse or sexual feelings for a corpse. Illegal. Necromancy pretty much translates to like divination, so magic. So this is magic with a corpse. So in this it says practice of calling up spirits of the dead for magical purposes. Speaking to the dead. That's not illegal. Anyone can do that. This one is illegal. This one is not. And maybe people are confusing the mancy with like romance and confusing it, but they are different. Words have meanings. We need to be careful. Anyways, memorize this because if this is the newest talking point on the Diddy case, I feel that we're going to have a lot more confusion. Necrophilia, gross. Necromancy, normal. Philia, mancy. 2 different words. All right, now that I've seen like five videos on my FYP talking about.
Okay, you guys. So Vanna says she saw this yesterday. I think I saw the first time I saw it was like yesterday or something, really recent. But do you guys think that Diddy is into? So, and to her point, let me turn back to the screen so you guys can see. There's 2. I don't know what documents that they found this in. I've been, scrounging and looking. I don't know who started this rumor. But necrophilia is, when you have relations with an unalive body. And then the necromancy is when you're conjuring up spirits or, trying to conjure dead. And I think they do that in different religions. So that's not so uncommon. And to her point, the young lady in the TikTok, one is illegal, one isn't. So I don't know where this came from, but it's weird that it comes up on the heels of Anthony Rico quitting the case. Now, to me, again, if we go back, because some people are saying, well, that's exactly why he quit, because he found out Diddy was having sex with unalive bodies. I don't know. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Is it possible? Yeah, because it is a thing. There are people who do it. I mean, there was a case in the Bay Area where this guy who worked at a mortuary, he would embalm the bodies and then do it, right? So it's not unheard of, but it's like people are saying that that's why Anthony Rico quit. I don't know. Like, where would he find that out? Where would that information come up? Because it's definitely not the necromancy, because there's nothing wrong with people, talking to the dead, so to speak. People do that. That's their religion. No judgment on that. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But having relations with a body, that's illegal. Are they telling us that through some discovery or some information they found out Diddy is doing that? I have looked. If anybody can tell me where they've seen this in a court document or they can validate this information, let me know. Drop it in the chat, because I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. I don't know if people are just throwing rumors out there because, when you have cases like this, people are going to accuse you of everything. They're going to say Diddy had dinner with aliens. They liable to say anything. Y'all know how people do. But this new one, I don't know where it came from, and I'm just still trying to validate it. Like, what? Diddy having relations with unalive bodies? That's sick. Are they saying... And here's another thing. I don't know if you guys remember the Bill Cosby case, but in the Bill Cosby case, the whole thing with necrophilia came up because what happens when men like to have sex with women that are passed out, it's almost, some people feel like it's one step before the necrophilia, right? Like, why would you want to be with a woman that's not moving or that has no, you know what I'm saying? So that let's see, Harmony says he was knocking people out and then assaulting them. Yeah, you know, but and so with Bill Cosby, that's when this came up as well, because people were like, it's really sick that you would want to be with a body with the person not even responding. And so that's the kind of thing that they do when they're doing the necrophilia stuff, right? They just want the body to be there and they can do whatever. You got to be a sick mother ducker to do this. That's some weird ish. But anyway, y'all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining the chat. Please hit the like button. I hope you had a good time. If you are not currently subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I try to do deep dives and bring you the current information. Ericy says, right, Harmony, Bones recordings. Oh, yes. Uh, Vanna says, yep, 100%. Bring the Mess TV says, bye. Okay, you guys, Bring the Mess TV. Please go check her channel out. Lulu's World 93, my co-host. Go check her channel out on YouTube. Loving Myself. Go check her YouTube channel out. And anybody else who's in the chat, if I missed you, just let me know. Bye, man. You too, Ashley. Thank you for coming. I hope you come back next time. And I like differences of opinion. You pro Cassie. I'm on the fence about Cassie, okay? And I'll see you guys on the next video. And as I say, life is not a one size fits all. So do you, boo. Do you. Bye, you guys.